A smart person doesn't make an impulsive decision. He wants to do right by Justin Fields. I admire that. I respect that. I believe to whatever degree he can do that, he should. I also think it is in his own best interest to trade Justin Fields before free agency starts, because you want as many teams interested as you can possibly get. I think trading for Fields is a more attractive option than almost any free agent signing that is going to exist in free agency. But once a team makes that move, they make that move, and you lose a contender for Fields. So if I'm him, I want to make that trade as soon as possible. But he needs to know what are the best offers I'm going to get for Fields. He needs to know that before he needs to know whether he's assuming he's decided Fields is not going to be his quarterback. I think it's a separate decision. Am I willing to entertain the possibility of moving back from 1 to 2 or from 1 to 3 and guarantee myself getting a quarterback? As far as Fields is concerned, I think he can get all the information he needs this week, and I'd be surprised if Fields isn't traded by the end of the week.
I would too, but there is most definitely more to the quarterback decision in Chicago than just that. It is, are we retaining Fields or are we trading Fields? Are we keeping the 1 pick or are we trading the 1 pick? Are we drafting a quarterback with one of the first 3 picks if we have one? Maybe we give away the picks and Fields and we sign Kirk Cousins ourselves. Like the Bears, the reason why I think it's likely to happen this week, but there is definitely a more interwoven element to the Bears quarterback decision that I think might potentially strewn it out over a longer period of time.
So you then would disagree with my following statement. I would be willing to bet you, I would make the ultimate seeing green boost, whatever you want, that the quarterback of the Chicago Bears week 1 of next season will either be Caleb Williams or Justin Fields. You would not be willing to accept it is a lock to be one of those two?
So you're asking me or are you asking Ryan Poles?
I'm asking you.
Well, I think you're right. I think it is very likely to be Caleb Williams. That's who I think it will be.
Me too.
But if I'm Ryan Poles, I have the world at my fingertips. I have so many options. I have the ability to trade Justin Fields, or maybe I keep him and build a super team around him. Or maybe I draft Caleb Williams with the first pick, trade Justin Fields, and do it that way. Or maybe I trade down to 2 or 3, get a bunch of stuff for the first pick, draft Jaden Williams or Drake May, and build it that way. Or maybe I trade all of it and build the ultimate super team and sign Kirk Cousins to 120 cents on the dollar and make him my quarterback. There are so many paths.
I find that last
he can
one
go down.
Almost impossible to picture.
Tell me why.
Because he's old. I think you have the opportunity right now to have a young quarterback that you're excited about. I don't think you want to go out and sign a 36-year-old quarterback who had a torn Achilles in November.
Let me ask you a question. How much should excitement play into this? Because what I expect is that Kirk Cousins is going to be the best quarterback among all the ones that we're talking about over the next 2 seasons. Agree or disagree?
Oh, I don't know that I agree with that at all.
Who's going to be better than Kirk Cousins over the next 2 seasons among the guys we've talked about?
I don't know that in the right circumstance, Justin Fields isn't going to be better.
So the right circumstance
Kirk Cousins has
could be
been in
there?
the league since I was a kid. He's won 1 playoff game.
Sure.
But he's just not. Kirk Cousins is the Mendoza line is the wrong word.
Mm-hmm.
He is the definition. When we say what is an average NFL quarterback, it's Kirk Cousins. He's good. He's not great. He's not elevating you. And if you're the Bears and you have a chance at someone who could turn out to be special, you also are building a young team that you're not trying to catch lightning in a bottle. If you're the Jets, you're trying to catch lightning. I have to win in the next 2 years. If you're the Bears, you could be trying to build a team that could be really good for the next 5 years.
But you're doing the thing that you hate when other people do.
Which is what?
You're assuming that the young quarterback's going to be good.
Well, I'm assuming that there's no question the quarterbacks are all good. The question is, are they put in good positions? Are they put in the right places where they can maximize what they do well? Can we minimize what they don't do well? And we're not going to make the kind of ridiculous mistake that, for example, the Jets made in Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's going to wind up being one of the worst draft picks of all time because there was nothing leading towards it. There was absolutely nothing about it that said it was going to be good. There's more than enough evidence to suggest that in the right circumstances, Justin Fields, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Drake May might turn into good players. So I'm going to bet that I can put those circumstances around them.
And so you think it's likelier that Justin Fields is their starting quarterback next year over Kirk Cousins or anyone else in free agency or any veteran via trade?
I mean, the caveat to that being that they sign a journeyman bridge type and that guy starts week 1, which I know isn't what you mean. So
Right.
I'm not including that.
That strikes me as unlikely too. All I'm saying is I don't think we should be creating a false binary in terms of the options that Ryan Poles is going with. I think that he has so many levers that he can pull and the opportunity to create unprecedented leverage for his
You're
team.
forgetting one thing.
What is that?
You approach everything from a logical perspective. General managers have to approach at least some things from a pragmatic perspective. General managers, and this is not a criticism, it's probably what I would do in their situation as well. They do a lot of things to make sure that if it goes wrong, they don't get fired. And if you don't draft one of these guys and they wind up being Patrick Mahomes, you get fired immediately. And that has to factor into this somewhere in the equation. It was Lakers-Suns. And I was out running some errands or whatever it is, and I put the game on. And for the first, I want to say 7 or 8 minutes in real time that I put on the game, I want to say there were 4 stoppages for them to go over and look at stuff. Over and over and over. They're going to look at it. 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 And so the one part of me that wants to say, they should be able to review that. They should review everything. There's another part of me that says, I sat down and watched 7 minutes of basketball and didn't see a play. They just reviewed everything. And I worry they're already reviewing too much. So you tell me what you think of this. Cam and Bubba, I want you in this as well. I used to be very much in favor of more instant replay, more. And I was actually campaigning for it in baseball when it didn't exist in baseball. And I ran into Joe Torre one time when he was in that role where he was in charge of baseball, like disciplinary stuff, whatever.
Yeah, czar type.
Whatever
figure,
his job was in the offices at Major League Baseball. And I ran into him and we got into this conversation about instant replay. And here's what he said to me, Greeny. He said, there are always going to be blown calls. There's no way to get this perfect. And over the course of 162 games, every team is going to have roughly the same amount go their way as go the other way, which is why I've said I would do away with instant replay in Major League Baseball during the regular season and only apply it during the postseason, because in the postseason, that rule doesn't apply. If you get one terrible call at the end of game 2 of a best-of-5 series, you are in no way assured that you're going to get another one that equals it out. Over the course of 162 games, you likely are. In a football season, I believe there should be more instant replay because, again, the value of every game is so magnified because there are just so few of them. Basketball falls in between. It's almost exactly halfway between football and baseball. So if I were to say to you, Hembo, the answer to this is nothing, do nothing, because there are already too many stoppages and already too much downtime for the officials to go over and look at a monitor and then come over and announce to everybody with that very uncomfortable straight-up camera shot they have of their faces where you're looking directly up their nostrils and they're telling you exactly what it is they called or didn't call, with 41 seconds left in the second quarter, whether this was a take foul or not, like the fate of civilization hinges on the outcome. There's a part of me that says, just let that stuff go, and in the long run, it'll even itself out. The problem we have with that now is gambling, because there are people who have bet on the outcome of these games, and those people aren't going to say, well, I bet on the Knicks every single day, so the bad call in that game is going to get equaled out by the bad call in this game. That's sort of the one hindrance in all of this, because most of me, the sports fan in me, wants to just say, you know what? Bad calls are always going to be a part of this. They're ultimately going to equal themselves out. It's a shame. Write your letter, apologize to the Pistons, and get on with your day.